Year 392, day 64, and what she guessed was the hour 12th. Oh, what she wouldn't give to feel the cool moon-filled breeze on her face again. To feel the shivers of a cold, late lake in the middle of the night, while pulling at the moss from her toes. Yet, if she could go back in time, there was nothing about that day she wanted to change. That day. She had not thought about that day in a lifetime. That one single act that had led to this, shackles around her feet and wrists, bruises that never quite healed, the constant sound of dripping, and the centuries-old bread that she never could quite reach. She threw her head back and looked up at the ceiling. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. She immediately looked away from it. It was those lines that always got her trouble. Her mind drifted back to the day again. She was being led towards the town square, being pushed by the viewers for her trial. Different names were being muttered around her. She ignored them all and marched forward, with her head held high. At one corner, her family was standing. Her mother and father looked at her with sneers on their faces. And if she didn't know better, she would have thought she saw sorrow on her sister's face. Directly in front of her, she looked into the unforgiving eyes of the king. The woman by the side started reading from a scroll. "Do you deny the crimes done by you? Depends on the crimes," she said, pulling her lips into a smirk. "Betraying your own blood for the blood of another. I do not deny, nor do I regret. Then there is only one thing that can save you. The crime committed by you is the highest of them all, but everyone deserves a chance, and you shall get one too. In a pool of light a needy creature arrives, feed him your bread, and you shall be restored to your full might." The next thing she knew, she had been in this rotting place, with chains wrapped around her body, and here she was, after 3 centuries, a little less bound, but bound nevertheless. 3 centuries she had waited for her needy creature wanting the moldy bread. But her savior had yet to come. She had only her numbers and words for company, for she knew how much words mattered. Swords can cut and kill, but words will stab and stay, burying themselves deep in our bones to make sure we never forget. It was mere words that took her strength away. It was words that brought it back. No gun, no sword, no army or king will ever be more powerful than a sentence. The words of the woman in the town square were what brought her here. The words of the people she had betrayed her own family for. Their support was what encouraged her to keep fighting. She stared into the darkness, occasionally squinting for a pool of light, but it never came. There is a strange kind of freedom in the dark that brought out the inner demon in her. The red sparks at her fingertips had died centuries ago, Angie with her will to live. But it was the feeling of the cold metal on her wrists, the clenching of the brackets around her ankles, which made her wake up every day. But most of all, it was hope. Hope that the mysterious stranger will come to save the damsel in distress. Or maybe he would come, look at the monster that darkness had brought out from inside the witch, and flee. God, I hope he does that after he takes the bread away. That thing smells. She muttered her first words in a year. She took in a deep breath and looked at her surroundings once again. She was trapped under a shelf of rock where the words stared back at her. A few feet to her left was a stone table of sorts, which had the bread on it. Right in front of her, there were a couple of trees. She had no idea how they survived without sunlight or water, but they were there to keep her alive. No, not alive. Just to make sure she didn't fade away. You see, she was a witch. Witches don't die, as long as they have a purpose in life. As soon as they don't have one, they gradually fade into nothingness. Her train of thought was, however, soon interrupted. The trees swayed in the wind, and a flash of lightning lit up the entire forest. Suddenly, in a pool of light, a strange creature with silver wings emerged. "Please help me." The witch lifted her head as she recounted the words of the prophecy in her mind. "A pool of light. What do you need?" she managed to croak out. "Who are you?" the creature asked, still bent over. "Are you a needy creature? Something to eat?" "Oh Lord, just something to eat in the name of the angels," he cried. "Yes, yes. Would moldy bread suffice?" she asked, indicating towards the stone table. "Right now, I would eat anything, but I cannot reach it. Can you move?" He tried to stand up, stumbled, and fell face first on the ground. "You know what? Forget it. We don't want you dying. Then I would have to wait another 3 centuries before another one of you arrives." By 1977, the body count had risen to 11. The public was terrified. Women avoided going out alone, and rumors spread that the killer was a police officer, a taxi driver, or even someone within their own social circles. The San Francisco Police Department formed a special task force, but with no solid leads, the case seemed impossible to crack. Then came the letter. In April 1978, the San Francisco Chronicle received a chilling message signed only as "The Butcher." The letter detailed grisly aspects of the crimes that had never been released to the public. It taunted the police, claiming they would never catch him. But what truly terrified investigators was the postscript. "The next one will be soon." The fatal mistake. James O'Connell believed he was untouchable. He had honed his craft, perfected his ability to stalk and kill without leaving a trace. But like many serial killers before him, arrogance would be his downfall. In August 1978, a woman named Rachel Myers narrowly escaped an attack. She had been hitchhiking near Oakland when a seemingly charming man picked her up. Within minutes, his demeanor changed. He pulled a knife, but Rachel fought back, managing to jump from the moving vehicle. Though badly injured, she survived and provided police with a detailed description. This was the breakthrough authorities needed. The description matched a local drifter named James O'Connell, who had a minor criminal record but no previous violent offenses. Police began surveilling him, and what they uncovered was more horrifying than they had imagined. The capture and trial on September 3, 1978, police raided O'Connell's dingy apartment in the Mission District. What they found inside would haunt them forever: blood-stained clothing, Polaroids of victims in various stages of torture, and a handwritten journal detailing each murder in graphic detail. James O'Connell was arrested and charged with 12 counts of murder, though authorities believed the actual number was much higher. His trial in 1980 became one of the most sensational in California history. The prosecution painted him as a sadistic predator, while his defense attempted to plead insanity. The jury took less than 3 hours to reach a verdict: guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to death and sent to San Quentin, where he remains to this day, a silent relic of one of America's darkest chapters. I gazed out the window as a blistering bolt blazed through the sky and struck the silver birch from its roots. This is no day to go to the woods. They're not haunted. Dave drivels nonsense, especially when Lee's around. Elma, Dave called her, seriously. He said that she had an orphanage hidden in the woods, where she boiled the orphaned children alive and bathed in their blood. When the townsfolk caught her, they burnt her alive. He said you can still hear her blood-curdled screams at night. Nonsense. I looked to the right, and there he was, thumping his feet as he walked, mud splattering up his striped joggers. Drenched, Dave stood at the door. "Come on the mic, let's get going." "Just a minute, mate. I need to find my boots. I'm not going out there in my new trainers." I replied with a slight annoyance. "Where are they?" "Mom," I yelled up the stairs. "I'm going out." Mom yelled even louder. "Make sure you're back at 9 o'clock. "I'm 16, Mom," I shouted back, slamming the door on my way out. I felt a redness fill my cheeks as Dave glanced a sly grin. Dave's got a shifty look in his eyes, and with angst in his voice said, "Come on, Mike. We need to meet Lee. He said to be there for 6. I still can't find my boots. I put my new trainers on. Mom's going to go mad when she finds out, but what she doesn't know now can only hurt her later. We better hurry up though. Lee's unpredictable." "Come on then, Dave," I said with a huff. We'd just got to the gated entrance of the nature reserve when I noticed a wavering light from a lamppost. There was a flyer there. "Is that Buster?" "Hold on a second, Dave," I said. "I didn't know he went missing. That's John next door's dog. He used to love me give him leftovers at Dad's barbecues." A mocking voice, repeating what I said, came from the bushes. "At least the sky stopped pissing on us." Dave shivered. "It's only a dog, Mikey," said Dave. "Yeah, but," I stuttered. Lee interrupted. "Shut the fuck up and come on." "And you, Dave, did you get some fags from your dad?" Dave quickly replied. "Yeah, mate. Here's a 20 box. Dave's bottom lip trembled. He had a keenness in his dark eyes. As the light flashed, the freckles shone his beetroot face.